Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, and we're going to head out to Western PA and talk to Dan Byrne. And Dan's son started Nevin's Hunting Friends. Dan, welcome to the show, and I'm excited to find out what your organization's all about and how they're helping other kids that aren't as fortunate as some other people.
Yep, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So why did your son start this?
Well, my son has rheumatoid arthritis. He was diagnosed at 3 years old. So getting out and doing everyday sports like baseball, football, soccer is kind of difficult for him because his body aches so much. So, he's like shooting his bow. And he did that for a long time. He just shot a little recurve for just in the yard to play around with. And I asked him one day, I said, "You going to go hunting?" And he said, "Yeah, we're going to go hunting." In Pennsylvania, you're only allowed to hunt when you turn 8 years old as a mentor. You're allowed to go out with a parent before that, but I decided to wait myself till he was 8 years old to get his own license and go from there. So one day, a pastor from our church asked him to look into an organization that helps out disabled kids. So we looked into that and we went on a turkey hunt back in 2013 when he was 8 years old. And he was unsuccessful, so they asked him to come back for deer season. We came back for deer season, and fortunate enough, he was able to harvest his first deer at 8 years old. And he had eaten some lunch and then went outside to play with the other kids. There was probably 40 kids at this event. It was a pretty good outing. I noticed him sitting at the picnic table with another little boy and a young lady in a wheelchair. I looked out the window and the rest of them were playing football out in the yard. And I went outside and I said, "Hey, bud, you okay?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "My legs just hurt." I said, "Okay, just take it easy. And, we'll round this up inside and we'll be on our way." And I went back inside and I'm sitting there and I'm watching him. And he just sat at the picnic table and he's watching all the rest of the kids with that little girl and that other young little gentleman. So we go home. He says to me, he says, "Hey, we're going to come back for turkey." And I said, "Sure, we'll come back for turkey if we're invited." So about a month or two later, I get a phone call that the landowner had passed away at that location and they were not going to have the turkey hunt. And I said, "Oh, that's a shame. My condolences." And so I was telling Nevin, he says, "I was disappointed. I want to go out there for that turkey hunt." I said, "Yeah, we can do that." So he says, "Well, can we have a turkey hunt?" And I said, "Yeah, we'll go turkey hunting somewhere." Months went by, and come January of 2015, Nevin says to me, he says, "Hey, we're going to get ready to go turkey hunting." I said, "Yeah, we're going to get ready to go turkey hunting. We'll try to find some locations and set up." And he said to me, he says, "Can I take my friends out?" And I said, "Who do you want to take out?" And he says, "I want to take the people from the hunt." And I said to Nevin, "Nevin, we don't have that ability to take out 40 plus kids and start our own group." I said, "We don't have the means to do that." And he says, "No, Dad." He says, "I want to take my friends out." He says, "The ones at the picnic table." And I said, "Well, why are them your friends?" He says, "Because they can't get out there like I can." He says, "They enjoy hunting just like I do." He says, "Those are my friends." So I reached out to the little girl and her parents, and I reached out to the little boy and asked them if they wanted to come. And in 2015, spring turkey season, we actually took those two out and a couple of their friends. So there was 5 kids that went, Nevin and 4 other people. And it's just gone on from there. We started the 501c in the fall of 2015, and it just keeps growing and growing. And as of this past year, we took out 20 kids, all with Nevin's help. Each one of these kids have disabilities or learning defects or something that causes them not to get out in the woods on an everyday life. And it's just been happy. And Nevin was only 8 years old when he started this. At that time, he was just, hey, I can go hunting with my friends, and my friends are the ones that I can play with that can't play football and sports and stuff like that. But that's his kind of a sport, is to go out with these other kids and just have a good time. We've been blessed with that. And it's just growing and growing. And right now he's 12 years old, and he's finally starting to realize what he did and what he started. And it's no looking back now. So we're having a blast. And like I said, we take out 20 kids. We have 70 volunteers that take these kids out, and they're all child safety certified by the state of Pennsylvania, police background checks, the whole 9 yards, just to be safe. And we have a blast, and it's fun. And before, we used to go on turkey and deer. That was only the 2 hunts that we do each year. And these kids get so excited. We do a goose hunt. We do a duck hunt. We take them up to Lake Erie and go walleye fishing. We go out of state on different deer hunts. It's just a blast. And all thanks to Nevin and starting this organization, and me being dad, I'm his voice. So I get to make the phone calls and do the podcast and talk and spread the word about it. And I love it. And we're all volunteer. Nobody makes a penny. It's just doing it for the kid and getting these kids in the outdoors. That's all we want to do.
Want to become a smarter deer hunter? Know when to hunt, where to hunt, how to hunt? Well, Deer Hunting Institute Part 1 was created to do exactly that, because many people have told me they struggle with spending all days in the wood and never seeing a deer, only shooting does and young deer, leaving the woods empty-handed way too many times. Found Mr. Wonderful, but just couldn't get on him, having difficult finding a place to hunt, recognizing possible mistakes you're making every year, having tried and failed to find qualified mentors who deliver results. If you had these frustrations or struggles, go to deerhuntinginstitute.com, and there you'll find a 13-module course to help you solve these problems. Again, go to deerhuntinginstitute.com and find some answers. Wow, what a great story. And that's a great story for the R3 recruitment, retention, and reactivation. If somebody has been hunting, maybe they don't want to hunt anymore, but helping kids is a great thing to do. And just a shout out to your son and to you for being the dad that stood up and said, hey, let's just do it. And
let's do it.
Yeah. And 70 people that come alongside. So Dan, thank you so much for being willing to give your time and your resources to such a project. How did somebody reach out and get a hold of Nevin Hunting Friends?
Well, we accept kids all the time. Even if you're not in the state of Pennsylvania, we do have kids that come from Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, clean across the state over in Maryland. If anybody needs to get outdoors and we can assist you, go to our website at nevinshuntingfriends.com, fill out an application, and I will call you personally. Me and Nevin will talk to you. If you're local, me and Nevin will come visit you and talk to you face to face. Or you can go on our Facebook page, Nevin's Hunting Friends on Facebook. That's the best way to get a hold of us, because everybody's on social media nowadays. But if you go to the website, you can see all the kids' pictures. You can see all the videos that we take. Each hunt that we go out there, we film it. We not only give a film for the kids' hunt for that day, for memories for the parents and whatnot, but we also make an episode, and we also put it on NHF TV, which is a first episode for kids in America. It's first TV show. It's on the Gen 7 Outdoor Network on gen7outdoors.com. And it's all about the kids. We try to treat the kids like professionals. The kids to get to see all the big celebrities on TV hunting and fishing. And we try to make it as if they are the professional for the day. It is a blast. And the best thing about it is we not only take them out there, and our goal is just to put a smile on their face. If we put a smile on their face, that is what the whole day is about. But if they get a harvest, they catch a fish, they make friends, that is above and beyond. And that's what happened with all of these kids. Each one of these kids before they come to NHF are usually sitting at home. They're usually laying around, not doing too much, not very active, because for one, they can't be very active. For two, that is just their lifestyle. But when they get a hold of Nevin and talk with Nevin and meet the rest of the other kids, it's almost like a pack. They start talking together on the phones, they talk on social media, and they become more energized. I've talked to a few parents, and they said that it was almost like a depression where the kids will just sit around. They won't even play games. They're that sad or whatever you want to call it. But when they meet the other kids, they just have a blast. And they're smiling all day long. Believe it or not, we just had an event here, a fishing event here last month. They're already calling me and wanting to know when the next event is. And I don't even have it set up yet. So you're doing something right when that happens.
Well, that's just great. And tell people how they can get a hold of you guys again.
You can go on the website, nevinshuntingfriends.com. My contact info is on there, or you can email us from there. You can fill out an application from there, or you can go to our Facebook page.
Now, what's the age, lower limit, upper limit?
It is ages 7 to 16 in the state of Pennsylvania for youth hunt. We hunt and fish on youth field days here in Pennsylvania.
Okay. So explain to my listeners what that means.
Well, when you go out there in youth field days, that means there's no adults out there. They have strictly seasons for youth in Pennsylvania.
So that's for turkeys and deer and ducks?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Any type of game?
Yeah, there's different season for different types of game, yes.
So that makes it a lot safer, and two, it highlights the kids.
Correct. Yep.
Now, what kind of support have you gotten from the Pennsylvania Fish and Game?
We have different organizations in Pennsylvania that come help us out. But as far as the Game Commission or Fish Commission, they do not help us out because it is a patrol day, and they highly patrol it for safety issues, is what they say. I would love for them to come and, assist, but that's just the way they say.
Do you want to become a smarter whitetail hunter, knowing when to hunt, where to hunt, how to hunt? Over the past 4 years, people have asked me, hey, I'm struggling with spending all day in the woods and never seeing a deer, only getting opportunities at doe or young bucks, leaving the woods empty-handed too many seasons. Located the deer of a lifetime, but just flat out missed. Having difficulties finding a place to hunt, recognizing mistakes that you're making over and over again, and you want to eliminate them. Having tried and failed to find qualified mentors. Well, you've come to the right place. Why? Because Deer Hunting Institute Part 1 was created by me, Bruce Hutchin. It's a 13-module course that'll talk about being lost in the deer hunting forest, never hunted. What is a hunter? What is an adult onset hunter? What rules apply? Finding a mentor, choosing a weapon, finding a place to hunt, scouting a hunt location, stand sites, stand access and exit, reading sign, and when to hunt. All these are available for you at deerhuntinginstitute.com. Go now to deerhuntinginstitute.com and sign up for the best deer hunting course in America.
No, if somebody wants to volunteer, not sign up their kid, but volunteer, How would they do that?
Go to the website as well. You can go up there and fill out an application for volunteer or donations or a application for a hunter.
Now, what does Nevin like to hunt the most?
He doesn't really say. He just likes to go out there and pull the trigger. It doesn't really matter what it is. But I noticed lately that when he was 8, 9, 10, he just liked to go out there and hunt. But I noticed him starting to assist with the newcomers in the group, assisting with them as far as teaching them this and that and helping them out. And, I think he's starting to get the picture of what he's done because, he's harvested a few animals. He's got a few bucks, lots of does and fishing and sort. But I noticed him starting a lot. Believe it or not, he likes to shoot deer, but if he had his preference, I don't think he would have a preference other than pulling a trigger.
No, he hunting rifle or archery or muzzleloader?
Yeah, he does archery. He's been working with a crossbow a lot because it does use a lot of muscles. But lately, he's been trying a compound. Right now, he's about a 40-pound pole. just to practice with, just to try to build up his muscles and his shoulders and his arm. And, it's kind of stressful for him. He's got to take his medicine when he comes back in the house because he's pretty wore out. But I give him credit. He tries. The doctor said that when he has his arthritis kicking in high gear, it's like a 70-year-old male that has arthritis. And I noticed when my grandparents were older, they had it, and it was hard for them to get up. So I imagine what it is for a 12-year-old to get out of bed. But there's days that when it comes to hunting, it doesn't matter if it's raining or what, he's ready to go and helping kids. And he feels at the end of the night, but he gives it his all.
No, are you guys hunting from tree stands or ground blind stands?
No,
how do they hunt?
We hunt out of ground blinds for safety purposes. We have big Ameristep ground blinds, the 4-person ones, and we put 2 of them side by side and put 2 people in each one for comfort. Because each hunt that we go on, we have the child and we have a mentor with them. And then a parent goes along if they want to. And then we have a cameraman. So there's probably 4 people in each group. If we have 20 groups, that's 80 people.
Wow. Now, how do you find land to handle, you say, hey, we're going to do a turkey hunt. Do you limit the number of people that can hunt?
No, we don't. We have property owners up where we go hunting at. We go about 20 miles north of here where I live. We actually have 5 farms up there, which is about 7,000 acres that they donate for the week for the kids. And they post it off themselves. They don't even allow anybody on there until the kids are done.
Wow, that's special. So props out to all the people that are setting aside their land and allowing kids.
Yeah, and believe it or not, each one of them landowners actually come in and they sit with a kid. So it's pretty remarkable.
Wow, it's just more I hear about this. And thank you again for reaching out to me and asking me to be on Whitetail Rendezvous, Dan, and sharing the story. I know you've got hundreds of stories. What is one of your favorite stories that you'd like to share?
One of my favorites. Well, they're all pretty good. They're all my favorites. But we got this little boy. He is partially blind, has a heart condition, and he's only about 4 foot nothing. And he's the same age as Nevin. He actually goes to school with Nevin. And they're pretty good friends. And they were turkey hunting one day. He was in with a mentor and another 2 group of people. And they were in this blind, and this was turkey season. And it was a pretty slow morning. They all fell asleep in a blind. And somebody woke up and said, there's one coming. So the boy's sitting there, and here it comes, and here it comes. And they can see it about 60 yards out. And he looks over to the cameraman and says, hey, you got the camera on? Because it's about to go down. And if I was in that blind, I'd have bust out laughing, but I know they didn't because they were quiet. And the boy ended up shooting that bird, and they got it all on film, and it is hilarious. And it's actually going to be on season 2 of NHF TV on the Gen 7 network this coming year. So people will have to tune in to watch that. It's pretty funny.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show tonight. Before we go, can I take a moment and say thank you? Listen, as we started the Whitetail Rendezvous podcast journey, we had no idea what to expect. But after 4 years, we received a ton of feedback from our over 400,000 listeners and climbing to 500,000. Speaking of which, we are now closing in on over 600 featured guests. Thank you. And a quick shout out to all those who have left an iTunes review and your feedback. I get those and really appreciate it. And it's awesome to see what you have to say, and we do read every single one of them. And I just want you to know that I am incredibly grateful for your kind words regarding the show. And all of the ratings and reviews help us attract more listeners. And if you're one of those new listeners, welcome. Great to have you. By the way, if you haven't taken the time to rate and review our show and like the Hunting on Private Land strategy on how to get permission to hunt a private property, go to whitetailrendezvous.com as a special gift for just rating and reviewing our show. When you get there, look for the start button to get the details. Listen, I'll share you the top technique from some of the top hunters in the country on how do they get permission to hunt on private land. I'll share with you the exact techniques they use to get permission. As my way of saying thanks for rating and reviewing the show on iTunes. So join us next time. And remember, we're all on this journey together, learning, sharing, and becoming 365 hunters.
That's great. That's great. Again, how does somebody reach out to you guys? One, if they want to volunteer, or two, if they have a child that they'd like to get involved in your organization.
Yeah, if you have a child that would like to come hunt with us, if you have a volunteer, somebody that wants to come and donate their time, or if you want to simply get in touch with us for any reason whatsoever, just go to our website at nevinshuntingfriends.com. You can also see what's going on with the kids, pictures, videos, stories, how we got started, the whole 9 yards, or you can check us out on Facebook.
No, if somebody wants to just donate, do you take donations?
We completely accept donations. That's how we run. We don't have any parents pay for anything. The kids don't pay for anything. We support each and everything that the kids need. If they need hunting clothes, we turn around and get them hunting clothes. If they need archery supplies or rifle supplies, we turn around and get that for them. The only thing that they have to do is purchase their hunting license. There's no way that we can get around that. They have to follow all the fish and game laws in Pennsylvania. So if you're 12 years old, you got to have that hunter safety card. We can't get around that. That's a state law. So you have to follow all the rules and regulations of the PA Game Commission or each state that we're in. We're sponsored by a lot of brand name sponsors, which help out the kids. You know, we can't do it without people donating and sponsoring us. You can see a list of those on our website. You can see a list of corporate sponsors on our website. We recognize everybody that helps out the kids.
Well, Dan Burns with Nevin's Hunting Friends, it's been a pleasure. And again, thank you for reaching out to me. And at some time, I'd love to have one of the kids on, Nevin himself or whatever you think that's appropriate. You know, I'd love to have them on and have them share stories with my listeners.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, like I said, Nevin's only 12. He's just now figuring out what he accomplishes. So, you know, when he gets older, I told him I'd do this until he turns 18. So when he turns 18, maybe he can get on and tell you.
I'd love to have him.
And, yeah, he's a pretty good kid. So,
well, you got to be very proud of him, sir. He just decided to take it on and get it happen, and good for him.
Yeah, he decided to take it. I still don't think that he realizes what he asked for to take a couple kids hunting. Like I said, we first started out with 5. Now we're at 20. That just keeps growing and growing. We go out of state too. You know, we go to Ohio and Illinois and Virginia. We go to different places, and that helps out too. But there's some kids out there that's not fortunate. All kids don't need to be sitting around and sitting in their chair and being bored. And you got to get them going and get them energetic. Each kid needs to be out there. And it's our job as parents to get them out there. And God willing, we can get them all out there, but it just takes time. And we'll take the kids out that have a hard time, can't get out there. That's what we're here for.
Well, Mr. Dan Burns, the father of Nevin's Hunting Friends, thank you so much for being a guest on Whitetail Rendezvous. And I can't wait till you call me up and say, hey, you'll never believe what happened because I was on your show. And so that'd bring a smile to my face. That's for sure.
The more I can spread the word about the kids, the better. That's the way I see it. So anybody out there, if you know somebody that lives in California, needs to go hunting, tell them to get a hold of me. We'll get them somewhere. We'll get them out there and put a smile on their face. And, you know, that's what it's all about.
Dan Burns, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.